Good morning from beautiful, beautiful Allihies, Ireland. So let me tell you the story of the blue house. So when I was 16, I used to go on Google Maps and just travel the world, right? At that point, the only place I had been is New York City, and I got just a little taste of what it was like to travel. And then, so I would, if I couldn't sleep for whatever reason, I would go online and I would play music from the area, and I would get on Google Maps and I would explore the towns, just go down little roads on Street View and pretend I was there. And one night I decided to just pick a random spot in Ireland. I'd always wanted to go, and I thought maybe one day I'd go there, but I hadn't made any plans because I was 16 and I couldn't leave. And I clicked on this random little area in the southern part of the country, and Google brought me to this little blue house. It wasn't exactly little, it was a 2-story little farmhouse, and it was close to the beach, and you could see the beach and then green pastures, and then behind it this gorgeous landscape, these big cliffs, these big rocky cliffs, and there was this dramatic difference between the softness of the sand and the ocean and then these big jagged cliffs, and it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I kept returning to it whenever I could. I'd go down the streets of the little town, and I saw the multicolored buildings in the actual town, and I went up and explored the cliffs and everything, and I found out that the place was called Allihies, as you might have guessed. And I resolved then, at 16 years old, that I was going to come here one day. And I said, I want to see that house. I want to stand on those beaches and look at those cliffs. And that's the first time I really thought about actually traveling. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I want to do this, oh, I want to go there, but then they never actually do, and something always holds them back. And I remember feeling a click in my brain and knowing, no, like, I'm going there one day. And that was the first time I have ever felt like that. And so I think that a lot of my traveling has stemmed from that night. And so when I was in Europe studying abroad in 2016, I think it was, I came to Ireland for a week. It was my first solo trip, and I wanted to rent a car, but I was only 21, so they wouldn't rent a car to me. They said I had to be 25. Okay, so I decided that I would come back to Ireland for my 25th birthday, and then I would go see the little blue house. And then I got everything ready, I saved up the money, I bought the tickets, and then the pandemic hit and everything was canceled, and well, you know all of that. So I couldn't go then. So 2 years later, and I'm here. 2 years later, I finally made it to the area that I had dreamed about for years. I did write a letter, and we did find the house last night. They painted it white, so it's not the little blue house anymore, but that's okay. The color of the house wasn't the important part. It was the story behind it, and the place also. So I wrote my letter, and we have a beautiful, beautiful day today. We're gonna go explore my little dream town. And honestly, it is as gorgeous as I thought. Like Like I cried a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I cried a little bit going in today, or last night. But yeah, so that's the main plan for the day. We're gonna go see Allihies. It's a little town, so it shouldn't take all day. And then we're going to make our way back up to Kenmare and then go from there. So this is Allihies. This is the view. And see that over there? That's the house. This is it. We found it. Well, I did it. I went over to the house and they didn't have a mailbox, so I left it onto this onto the side. I pray that it gets to them before it rains. I didn't have an envelope or anything to put it in. It didn't come prepared. But yeah, I did it after somewhere between 9 to 11 years of waiting. I finally made it to my little town, and I finally saw my little house, and it was just as great. I didn't knock on their door because I didn't want to disturb them, and it didn't seem like they were home anyway. But yeah, I'll include some pictures. It was fun. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad we came here. I'm so glad we came here. It pretty much made the trip for me, honestly. Alright, so now for the rest of the day we're just gonna explore and see where the day takes us. It'll eventually take us back to Kenmare. Bye! What are we doing, Mom?
Seashells.
I'm finding some really pretty rocks. We just had lunch at this this Buddhist meditation retreat called Kenmare. It's probably completely wrong, but they have this really cute cafe. We got some soup and a coffee and looked out over the ocean. It was gorgeous. It was definitely something to see. So we're making our way back to Kenmare. we stopped in a couple of little towns to look around. Castleton Bear, and one that starts with a G that I don't remember. Right now we are at this little road stop, Molly Gallivan's traditional home. It's cool because it looks a lot like Michael's Nanny Murphy's cottage. So he did a great job with that. The road in between that little town that starts with a G and Kenmare is a pass. It's not the Healy Pass. I wanted to do that one and I thought it would be too hard for Mom, so I tried to avoid a pass, but I still ended up having to go through a pass. But it was absolutely beautiful. I couldn't get any footage because there was no real place to stop without being like on this side of the cliff, which wouldn't fly with her. But definitely take your time through this area. Like, as per usual, we don't really have a lot of time, and we saw what we wanted to see, and I spent time in Allihies, which I don't regret whatsoever because that was the goal. But yeah, definitely come to the Bear Peninsula. So much less traffic. If people actually watch this and they listen to me, then there won't be as. So just kidding. Don't come to the Bear Peninsula. But yeah, it's beautiful. This really feels like Ireland, you know. Our next stop will probably be Kenmare, and probably be by the time everything's closed as usual. So we only have like 4 more days here. I'm really sad. I'm excited. I'm excited to go to Dublin. I'm excited to see stuff there, but I don't want to leave. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of the place again. You gotta. This is definitely one of those places where you have to keep coming back, or just stay here for a whole year and travel. But